was under bondage.
According to how it was happened, the KK rider have two people at the two sides in front of the KK.
I will confuse them to come to the market.
Congratulations to the media. You have done incredible work.
In Indians, it will show you what it does.
The Senate observed that PPP has consistently engaged in underhand dealing.
Position, you don't will get to go for Africa.
When your brother is producing something and you patronizing your brother.
Listen to Planet's 101.1 FM news at 7 a.m., 12 noon, and 6 p.m. with our news in special English at 2:30 p.m. Mondays to Fridays. Planet's Radio 101.1 FM, revolving around you.
Good afternoon and welcome to the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM Uyo. I am Rachel David White. First in the news this afternoon, the federal government has said for reports that President Bola Tinubu would announce a new wage award to workers on Independence Day is untrue. The Minister of Labour and Employment, Simon Lalong, met this clarification in a statement by the Director of Press and Public Relations in the Ministry of Labour, Olajide Oshundun. He noted that the report is false and misleading, as at no time did the Director of Information make such disclosure. Lalong further called on members of the public to ignore the report, stressing that it was a total fabrication by the reporter. On health matters, the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, says it has deployed 9.3 million doses of diphtheria vaccines to affected states in Nigeria following the most severe diphtheria outbreak in recent global history. A statement by UNICEF Communication Assistant Nchekwebe Nwosu Ibu says the doses were deployed to Kano, Bauchi, Borno, Yobe, Katsina, Kaduna, and Jigawa states. The statement added that 4 million doses were dispatched to Kano, the epicenter of the outbreak. According to this statement, UNICEF is providing urgent support to the Nigerian government in its efforts to combat the outbreak, saying that a crucial part of the support includes the procurement of vaccines to support the government's response. According to the statement, the outbreak has so far resulted in over 11,500 suspected cases, claiming 453 lives, with more than 7,000 confirmed cases, mostly children. Away from that, the National Assembly Elections Petition Tribunal sitting in Enugu has affirmed the election of Senator Kelvin Chuku of the Labour Party, dismissing the petition by Senator Chimaroko Namani of the People's Democratic Party and challenging the victory. The three-member panel, led by Justice Nasirat I. Umar, in a unanimous judgment, held that Chuku, who replaced his brother Oyibo Chuku, who was reportedly assassinated a few days before the election, was the duly elected senator representing Enugu East Senatorial District of Enugu State. Namani, who was the former Enugu State governor between 1999 and 2007, represented Enugu East Senatorial District in the Niger Assembly under the platform of the PDP, despite winning the ticket for the PDP to recontest the senatorial seat in the February 25th National Congress. Bola Tinubu senatorial seat in the February 25th National Assembly elections. Rather, he declared support for the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, against his party's candidate, Atiku Abubakar. From the Green Chambers, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Abbas Tajuddin, has expressed concern that the annual budget of the National Assembly has remained unchanged for 13 years despite the impact of inflation and its associated consequences. In a statement issued by his Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Musa Krishi, the Speaker added that the expenditure of the federal legislature has increased over this period without corresponding budgetary provisions to support it. Abbas made this statement during a courtesy visit by a delegation from the African Business Roundtable led by the Executive Director of West Africa, Dotun Ajayi, in Abuja. Reports say Abbas pointed out that during the 10th house tenure, over 60 parliaments were established for friendship committees to improve relationships between the House and other parliaments across the world. He also noted that the European Union had allocated 20 billion euros for sub-Saharan Africa. On Labour matters, the National Deputy President of the Trade Union Congress, TUC, Tommy Etem, has said that nothing would stop the strike, noting that Nigerian workers were disenchanted with the federal government. He stated that the unions had given the government sufficient time to address their demands, stressing that the workers would not allow themselves to be deceived any longer. Also, a top official of the NLC, while speaking on the proposed strike, said the issues are straightforward, as NLC's joint communique were very clear. Recall that the NLC had declared an indefinite nationwide strike, which is to begin on October 3rd, 2023. In another development, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has announced October 9, 2023, as deadline for the collection of the permanent voter cards, PVCs, ahead of the November 11th of cycle governorship polls in Kogi, Imo, and Bayelsa State. The Electoral Commission has, however, said it will not extend the PVC's collection in the state and admonished registered voters not to delay in picking up their cards. The Chief Press Secretary to the INEC Chairman, Rotimi Onyekami, and the Kogi State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Gabriel Longpet, affirmed in separate interviews and cautioned the concerned electorate against waiting till the last minute to collect their PVCs. On his part, Onyekami noted that the ongoing PVC collection exercise was only for registered voters in the Free State who could not collect their PVCs before the suspension of the exercise on February 5th, 2023. Patient HIV and AIDS viral load by sealing up intervention in different local government areas in Akwa Ibom State. Speaking with Planet News experts in the Akwa Ibom State capital while speaking on contributions of orphans and vulnerable children programs to aid epidemic control, disclosed that 31.3% of children in households living with HIV lack access to regular food and 16% are unable to pay medical bills or transport household members to health facilities in the state. The expert noted that I Am Safer intervention is proven to reduce sexual violence among population, addressing food insecurity and malnutrition in children below the age of 5, and sensitization, among others, are keys to eradicating the menace of HIV and AIDS and ramp up efforts in fighting against the virus in the state. You're listening to the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM Uyo. Let's take a breather and then bring you more stories from our foreign sport and entertainment scenes. Just stay with us.
Healthy living begins with the choices one makes. Choosing to live healthy is the first step to healthy living. Join us Sundays 1:30 to 2 p.m. for Health Way, awareness for healthy choices.
Welcome back and many thanks for staying with us. On our foreign scene, the Security and Intelligence Service in Burkina Faso says it foiled an attempted coup in the country. The military government made the announcement in a statement read on national TV by its spokesperson, Rimtaba or Dagro. According to the statement, the Junta said an attempt by some army officers to seize power from Captain Ibrahim Traore and plunge the nation into chaos was thwarted. They further announced that officers who were allegedly involved in the plot had been arrested. The military government said it would seek to shed all possible light on the plot, adding that it regretted that officers whose oath is to defend their homeland have strayed into an undertaking of this nature. In sport, Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta is reportedly looking to bolster his squad by targeting 2 La Liga stars in the upcoming January transfer window. According to reports, the La Liga players are midfielders Martin Zubimendi and Rodriguez. Reports say preliminary discussions with Zubimendi current club, Real Sociedad, have already been initiated, which indicates an honest desire to sign a midfielder. However, a substantial stumbling block persists in the form of Real Sociedad's asking price for the player. Arsenal are reluctant to meet Real Sociedad's valuation of £60 million for Zubimendi as part of the contingency plan. The Gunners also have Rodriguez, who plays for Real Betis, on their radar. On our entertainment scene, Nigerian hip-hop artist Tochukwu Ojogu, popularly known as Udumodu Black, has said he wants to be like the reincarnation of legendary American rappers DMX and Tupac in Africa. He said he does not want to be stigmatized as just a Nigerian artist, stressing that his ambition is to be a global superstar. Udumodu Black stated these shortly after signing a career-changing contract with the prominent American multinational record label Dave Jam Recordings in the U.S. recently. It's been the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM Uyo. Before we go, let's take a recap of the major stories. The federal government has said that the report that President Bola Tinubu would announce a new wage award to workers on Independence Day is untrue. The National Deputy President of the Trade Union Congress, Tomietum, has said that nothing would stop the strike, noting that Nigerian workers were disenchanted with the federal government. People have been advised on the need to improve patient HIV and AIDS viral load by scaling up intervention in different local government areas in Akwa Ibom State. On a foreign scene, we told you that the Security and Intelligence Service in Burkina Faso says it foiled an attempted coup in the country. In sports, we reported that Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta is reportedly looking to bolster his squad by targeting 2 La Liga stars in the upcoming January transfer window. For comment and coverage of your newsworthy event, call our newsroom on 0812 770 2940 or visit our website on planet101fm.ng and follow